minutes.
Okay.
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 Okay. Meeting
Here we are.
Live streamed. All right, everybody. Hi, thank you for coming. Welcome to Untethered Talk with Robin Thomas at 2 o'clock. Now, Robin, we were just discussing some things, but I think we really want to come back to them. But
sure.
we
can continue with that. We can continue with the conversation we were just having. Doesn't matter to me.
I want to talk about solstice. We can. You remember?
What?
So I said, look, well, let's talk about solstice, and then that in relation to whatever comes up. So
absolutely,
we can bring that up in relation to solstice.
Okay.
Solstice.
So, I mean, just astrologically, geophysically, it's the shortest day and the longest night. So what that means is there's less light available on December 21st than at any other point in the year.
Mm-hmm.
In ancient times, it was believed that the sun actually stood still. So they would pray and dance and celebrate and light bonfires and do all kinds of things in order to encourage the sun to move forward again.
Mm.
And it also was the time of praying and asking for God's mercy because the winter was really harsh. If you didn't have a great harvest, when you live that close to the land, if the snow is too heavy and your roof caves in, like there's any number of million things. And, you talk about illnesses and whatever, it was a really dark time, right? That period of winter. So the shortest day would be the darkest of the dark time. Right.
And dark is scary because there's
exactly. So the ancients used to celebrate the solstice by burning logs, by lighting trees, by giving gifts, by expressing gratitude, right? All of the things that we associate with Christmas there's actually zero daylight between Christmas and solstice. Like there's not even some of the other holidays we can there was some fudging, whatever, All Souls Day, whatever, Halloween, but for Christmas there's not even daylight.
So it's no, it's Christmas, it's not Yule.
Right.
It's a couple days later.
Right. It's the same thing. The rebirth of the light coming back onto the planet. It's all the same. But
Jesus was born in the spring. Okay.
Exactly.
It happens to be the lambs were foaling, so
right. Ostara, exactly.
Lambs aren't born in the winter. They're born in the spring.
But in Israel, maybe they're born whenever they're born, right?
Possibly.
Or Syria. Was he born in Syria or Nazareth? Whatever it was. Doesn't
Palestine.
Matter. Was it Palestine?
Modern day Palestine is out there. Well, Judea, but yeah, we can go into
it's
the Roman province of Judea.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so it's good. Anyway, so solstice, the shortest day and the longest night, and the tradition is to celebrate that. The tradition is to honor the darkness and also to honor the light and really welcome and celebrate the light returning. It's the Holly King is dying, and which
the oak, is it oak?
The oak, I can't remember which one dies, which one is reborn, but one dies so that the other gets to and I can never remember if it's the Holly or the Oak King.
It would make sense if it were the Holly King, right?
It would make sense that it was the Holly King. I just can't remember that.
I can't. Yeah, okay. All right.
Whatever. Anyway. It doesn't matter. But the old year is dying, so that the new year can begin. There's all kinds of symbolism with that. What's powerful, why I love the solstice, why pagans love the solstice, or anybody doing consciousness work can relate to the solstice, is it also can relate to embracing your shadow, right? So the solstice is a great time for shadow work. It's about coming internal, because we're wintering, we're coming internal. We have to recreate our own light so that the light can be reborn. We get to set our intention for the new year of who are we bringing forward and what are we getting rid of that no longer serves us. So it's amazing time for what would you do if you knew you could not fail? What are you willing to let go of? What are you willing to release? What judgments of the past are you no longer willing to carry forward with you? So this is what the solstice is about. That's what the whole point is, I mean, that's ultimately the mystics and the teachings from thousands of years ago. That's what they taught and what they ascribed to and what they believed and did. In the modern days, we've gotten away from that because we don't live so close to the land anymore, but that's still the energy of what we're going
yeah.
through.
Yeah. I mean, like we've lost touch with so much.
Right.
Period. Like, because we don't live close to the land, because we
Right.
don't view nature as like this force we should view it as, because it's pretty damn powerful.
Right. Because we're part of it. We are part of the earth. We're literally part of the earth. Right? We don't get a choice in the matter.
Dust to dust, right? Like,
we're the same. We have the same atoms in us as the dirt.
Yeah. Isn't it nuts? I just love it. It's like, when you think, like, we're the same atoms.
Mm-hmm.
We're just recycled atoms.
Yep. Just, So anyway, so that's the solstice. And the solstice is great, like I said, for shadow work and like, what is it you're recreating? How are you bringing your light forward? Which, what we were just talking about a few minutes ago, is how awesome you are, or how awesome, whatever. Like,
I am. It turns out.
Yes. And you're no better or worse than anybody else. Everybody's amazing. And our job is to just remember that. Our job is to shine our light. So at the solstice, we're being called to do that even more than in like everyday life, because it's the time of the year that is needed, because it's dark.
Yeah. And I mean, I think there's also like because it's dark, there's like a hopelessness and despair, but then
exactly,
as the light comes back in, the hope and gratitude and joy hopefully come with it.
Which is where that idea of giving gifts comes from, right? The gratitude and the joy and the sharing of hope and peace, right? It's obviously become a commercial thing, but that's what, I mean, the original intent was to foster gratitude and joy and peace, love of your fellow human, so that we can all remember that we're sparks of the divine.
Right. Oh, okay. That's, I mean, I love solstice. I have celebrated it many times, but just not delve too deep. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And I just think that the connection, like we're saying, like the connection to the earth, the connection to the powers that give life and death on this planet, unfortunately have become weakened. And we don't, the connection to them.
Okay. The forces have not become weakened.
They're still there. They're still there, and they're just as powerful. We just have, like, because our houses don't blow away, and we have food whenever we want in this country. Like, we're not in touch with it. We don't realize, like, if we had harvests that we depended on, yeah, we would.
Right.
But right now we don't. And that's a little, it's kind of a shame.
It is, yes. Yeah, I mean, yes, and. I mean, I think there's a living hand to mouth doesn't necessarily leave you a whole bunch of bandwidth for anything else, right? I mean, I think we both could sort of agree to that. When you're in that survival mode space, you don't have the space to look up and do the deep introspection work. So I think in a way we're blessed and privileged. I don't know, privileged, but like having the ability to do this consciousness work is powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. I mean, I think it's the loss of the connection more than like we should all be hunter-gatherers.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, like, I think that people lose connection with the earth, the ground, and each other, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
In the world.
I mean, we've talked about this before. It's like first chakra, at the first chakra level, we're all the same. At the first chakra, we're all together. We're all on the planet. We all are connected in our first chakra. And people forget that, and we don't, and there's so much like I actually have seen recently, there's so many people are, their first chakras are unplugged, right? They're literally unplugged from the earth, right? So they're all sort of Untethered. They're sort of like wacky inflatable flying arms man.
I wouldn't know anything like that about
Right.
that.
I know
I
you
have
can't
no idea what
possibly
that's like.
relate.
I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds crazy.
Surely you jest. My name's not Shirley.
I am serious. My name's
Exactly.
not Shirley. Well, it's a good movie. Okay, so yeah, so unplugged people and what we really will need, what a good goal would be is to become plugged.
Grounded.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the first thing I do is get grounded and centered and planted. I do a healing, I do anything, get in my body. When Lily gets flooded, I get her into her body first, and then we can deal with anything else. But if you're not in your body, and most of us aren't because we spend our time up here, then nothing else is, you can't do, it's gonna be really hard to do anything else.
I think people watching this who are not familiar with what we're talking about or are whatever, I think people might be wondering, like, what is she talking about in my body? Like,
What do I mean?
My body. Here's my body. I'm here.
I'm living my body. What I mean by that is being aware. I do this 1% daily with a couple of friends of mine. 2 or 3 times a day. We check in with like a mindfulness practice. And sometimes it's as simple as just like rubbing your fingertips on your hands. And you do this, you actually notice that you can notice your hands. So your awareness isn't the next 6 things that you have to do. Your awareness is right here on the palms of your hands, or in this moment. Exactly. Right. So, or grounding can look like feeling your seat on your backside on the seat and your feet on the floor. And if I'm really untethered, I drop a cord or roots. I imagine my feet grow roots into the earth. So like I can't move if I wanted to. And that presence, that earth presence just feels like it's just holding me.
Mm-hmm.
So I can feel my feet, I can feel my legs, I can feel my hips, I'm in my body. I don't have the same monkey crazy thoughts going on because my awareness is here as opposed to out here somewhere. So what I mean by grounded is I really mean having your awareness centered in your body, in your emotions, let's say, in your physical sensations versus the thoughts we have created about them.
Just gave us a couple of ways to get grounded, you know what I mean? Like throughout the day. So it's simple. You don't have to sit down and have a ceremony. You just it's like, okay, these are my hands.
Exactly. Like so like Virginia will sometimes or Jamie will do like a scent, like they'll have like something on their hand, like a lotion that has scent on it, or even an essential oil just on the palms of their hands. It brings them right into their body. Sometimes you can do this thing with your ear. I learned this in brain gym, like you kind of pull your ear out. And you pull your ear out and then like roll the flap. I don't know if you can see it, but you sort of roll the flap out a little.
Oh, okay.
And you can go all the way through your whole ear, and that's gonna settle you the way nothing else does. And you can pull on your earlobe a little bit. That puts you instantly in your body. It calms you.
There's so many receptors.
Exactly.
So many nerves.
And you can do that on both sides. Now you're balanced, right? Now you're right.
On the other side, yeah.
Exactly. Like I do this sometimes to put Lily to sleep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it calms her down.
Yeah, it's very soothing.
Exactly. And you can do that. You can do that sitting. You can do that in a meeting. You can do that on a phone call. Right? No one's going to question you sitting pulling your ear. Right. So there's a million different ways to ground and get mindful, even in your busy day to day, even in your, even sitting in a meeting, you can do that. Like nobody's going to question if you're doing this in the meeting. Right.
Yeah. You're like, I'm here.
Right. Exactly.
I am here.
And if you haven't noticed, when I'm talking, I talk with my hands all the time. But
Oh,
like a lot of times with clients, I'm doing this. A lot of times I'm just sort of keeping my
that makes sense.
study.
That makes sense. So, solstice, light, dark.
Light, yes. So when I think of the solstice, I really do think about it's another invitation to shine our light. Like, you know, we did the social healing last night, and I had you guys sit in the darkness for a little while, like for what felt like an uncomfortably long time in the dark and silence.
It was a long time. Like, all right.
But again, exactly, it was kind of on purpose, right? So because to the ancients, they weren't convinced that the sun was going to come back. Like there really was that fear, and I wanted us to sit with that fear, and then be able to recognize that the fear isn't real. It's not true. It's not right. What's real is our light. What's real is the spark. What's real is the light that comes back. The darkness isn't real. It feels real. It feels real. And it lies and it makes you think it's real, but it's not. And so for the solstice, we're going to go through the darkness. Absolutely. We're going to come out on the other side with the light. It's like, that's the concept of the dark night of the soul. Right?
Yes.
You're gonna go through the darkness, and you feel more alone than you have ever felt in your entire life. Then you feel forsaken and abandoned, even by God. And when you're in that space, it's almost impossible to trust or know that anything's gonna ever feel better.
Yeah, it's scary. And those are the moments that you really do have to be grounded. You really have to stay in the moment, because if you start thinking about future, like it's always going to be this way.
Right.
Like that will freak you out.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
like, I mean, I think that's in part what depression is, you know, like the light's not coming back.
Right.
That's just a sad thought for anybody who's feeling that.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I know with my breakthrough, yeah, that was hard. That was really hard. Like, it did not seem like it was gonna end.
Right.
I mean, thank you for. Yeah, that was like and it's these moments where like things just go like you lose control. Like literally, I lost control over and over and over again. And each time I was just like, okay, come on, like you just calm down, You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. But man, like if I had you, and if I had been thinking, this is not who I am, all I have to do in this one moment is calm down. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's just like, and I knew like theoretically this is gonna stop, but I thought beyond calm myself down right now. If I thought beyond that, it would have been so much worse.
Right, because you get flooded, it's an overwhelm. It's an overwhelm. And that's the point of a dark night. That's the point of a breakthrough, is you are forced to be present in this moment and do this step and this breath and this breath.
Yes, that's just one breath at a time.
Absolutely.
Just one, like, oh my God, just be grateful for the moment of respite that you get.
Mm-hmm.
And just be there in that moment.
Yep. Be fully 100% present in this moment and in this moment. That's essentially the ultimate grounding. Being fully present in this moment as if it's the only thing that exists.
I'm looking forward to getting there.
I can't, your sound is very soft. I can hardly hear you. Now I can't hear you at all.
No.
Oh, there you are.
Okay, but it's a microphone.
Yeah, if what were we just saying? I don't remember. I get distracted so easily.
It's okay. We were talking about that all you have is this moment, being fully present in this moment.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to the point where for the moment, obviously there's never an end to the journey, but like I am fully present in most moments. Like that's something.
So remember last night we talked about words are spells?
Yes.
So saying things like, I can't wait to get to,
That keeps it in the future.
absolutely. It keeps it outside of you.
So what would be the best way to say that?
I'm as present as I can be in this moment.
Okay. I'm as present as I can be in this moment.
Right. So it's like the, the concept of like, if you want something, it's already yours because it's in your awareness.
Yeah.
But if you want it, it means it's outside of you still.
Yeah.
So acknowledging that because you want it, it's already there. You already have that capacity. It's just a matter of allowing that capacity in.
So I'm as present as I can be in this moment, and every moment I am working to become more present.
Yeah, exactly. That gives you that makes it more solid. It's in you.
Yeah, that's it. It's now. It's
exactly.
Not
it's not
now.
I can't wait till the day that I do this.
Yeah, no,
well, that day's never going to come.
Right. If you keep saying it. Yeah. I've had experience. Yeah. That is true.
Right?
Yeah, it's not until you take action or whatever on whatever it is.
Exactly.
When you have to be in it.
You have to be in it.
Yeah.
Present right now. Be grateful right now that I'm as mindful as I can be. I'm as present as I can be in this moment.
That can be hard for people who live a lot in their head. I mean, I know most people.
Oh, it's super hard. I mean, it's hard for our society trains us to not do this ever.
Right. Like they're like, look at this distraction. Don't you want an iPod? Don't you want
right, exactly.
Toy.
And we get trained from an infancy. We get trained from a young age. Schools do it to us. Parents do it to us. Right? It's not. Our society isn't necessarily built around a mindfulness practice or gratitude. We're the antithesis of it, right? So it's like
yeah. I mean, like when you think for me, I mean, like solstice and Christmas are the same thing. It of course had to be appropriated for, the Christian agenda. But I do find, and maybe it's because of stuff like that, where they're like, we have to like, those are pagans, those are, heathen. I do find that in my experience, not all of them, Christian religions are much more not about your body in the moment.
Absolutely
not at all. They're about like when you die.
Right, exactly. The kingdom of heaven, when when you if you work hard now, you'll get your rewards later.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, didn't Jesus say the kingdom of heaven?
which is the ultimate form of control.
Well, that's what they did it for, right? In the end, I mean, we can go back to the Nicene Council,
right?
Constantine in the year 300 if we want to,
right?
But yeah, they were like, hey, you know what? We can't beat these Christians, so let's take Christianity.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's always, I mean, I think most, certainly all governments and most religions are about control of masses. I mean, that's it's just kind of true, right? So
organized religions that have been around for, absolutely.
Yeah, but even honestly, I'm a pagan, I'm a Wiccan, right? Even the Wiccan faith, there's rules and there's sects and there's like you can do this and you can't do that. And I'm like bullshit, right? Like so
right.
even in even in Wiccan tradition, it's like you have to have a high priest and a priesthood, right? There's some rules to that too. It's not organized religion. It's much more loosey-goosey. We run on like pagan standard time as an actual thing. And also there's still rules. There's still I mean, the basic tenet of Wicca is do what you will, harm none. That's really truly the basic tenet. So it's less so about control.
Yeah, but
right.
here, but these days, yeah. And I mean, in our society that we live in, based in Christianity, like no matter what your
Yeah.
faith is, that is where the society culture at large came from. And
Right. I
yeah.
mean, certainly a Judeo-Christian background of, right? One of the reasons that there's been so much anti-Semitism is the Jews weren't controllable. They never have been,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
I mean, the
yeah.
whole thing is they tried to kill us, we didn't eat, they didn't, let's eat, right? Like it's like
Yeah, we keep coming back.
right?
You can't kill us.
So there is, I think, based that sort of underlying belief of like you couldn't control them. And so I think that's part of,
Yeah.
their resilience. It's part of their amazing gift. It's part of their beautiful, but they're true. They also have that sort of rules of like, it's not necessarily that they have to work hard and then get your reward later, right? But they're much more able to be present.
Yeah, than Christians. Christians are all about the future.
Right.
Do you want to go to hell?
Or do you want to go to heaven? Right? Exactly. When you die,
When you
100
die,
years from now.
and it's eternity that we're talking about. Like if you when you sit and you think about all of eternity, and then you think someone thinks that you're gonna die and go to hell and burn and gnashing of teeth, like literally for eternity, that is scary as shit.
Yeah, it
You can
is.
do whatever you can to avoid that.
Right.
Anything. And the people you love, you have to get them on the right track too.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, like, talk about control.
And there's a lot of beautiful things about every religion. There's a lot of beautiful things. Like I'm not bashing any religion.
Not at all. Not
But
at all.
we were given this beautiful, amazing mind by whatever creator you want to think about. Our minds are fucking ridiculous. It's meant for the capacity. If we use 10% of our brain, the capacity of our brain is ridiculous. So nothing exists in nature without a reason. There's nothing that exists in nature without a reason. So we just haven't access to the other 90% of our brains because we haven't been shown how this is what I believe is coming as the upgrade of humanity. Like I really believe this consciousness is accessing different parts of our brains and different parts of our, like using our brain rather than like a way to keep us safe and held down, using our brain as like this, like ally that can be like, oh, you want to like bend time? Sure, let's just have to do this. Right?
That's
you
awesome.
want to like change physics? Okay. Like, we just haven't given the programming to the brains yet. That's I think what's coming.
Gen X is the gap, the bridge, I think. We're pretty awesome. We're forgotten a lot between the boomers and the millennials, but we're there. And we're
but we also got to cherry pick the best parts of both, and that our ability to hold space is our greatest gift. It's what is allowing us to be patient. Gen X, man, if we could get our shit together and do our shadow work, Gen X are the ones that will teach everybody else how to do it because we know what it feels like to sit uncomfortable.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I just imagine, sometimes I wonder like what it's like to be growing up now. Like it's such a different, I mean, I know generations on generations and generations, like it's such a different time now, but it's like, no, it's such a different time.
right.
Like the information age.
Like there were vast swaths of time that my mom had no idea where I was for any length of time. Like it was a large swath of time that my mom had no idea where I was and no way to get in touch with me.
Yeah, out in the woods. We used to go playing out in the woods. Yeah. You know, at the neighbor's house. They didn't worry about us. They're just like, okay, they'll be home at 5 for dinner.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just an interesting. Anyway, but hopefully, like you're talking about, this is, you know, we're coming out of the darkness even with our generations. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, and what's happening is people in subsequent generations are coming into their dark night sooner and sooner, right? So you have millennials are hitting it 25 and 30, 35 versus 40, 50, 60, right? Boomers hit it at like 55, 60, their midlife crisis. Okay, our generation, we're hitting it in like 40s. millennials are hitting it in their 30s. Gen Zs are hitting it at like 20. They're like the angst of life. They're like, what is the meaning, right? So they're hitting. It's not that it's not that they're not going to go through the dark night. It's that they're going to go through it younger, so that they don't have 50 years of patterns that they have to unwind.
Yeah, seriously.
They have 20 years of patterns that they have to unwind. That's a completely different animal.
Completely different. Completely different. Like, oh, those patterns, they're ingrained, but boy, oh boy.
I do. One of my favorite healings is the regression healing. This is like the crux of the work I do. And my regression healing will take you back through your whole life. And we find these places where your energy is stuck in patterns. And it sometimes is things that you don't even think about anymore. So we find the places where your energy is stuck, and we go all the way backwards in time. And then we take you back out to the soul plane, and you get to experience you in this perfectly loved, never have been wounded place, and bring recognize your soul contracts. You get to bring that energy all the way forward with you. And it's such a powerful healing. And so like when I do it with like people my age, where I have to go back 50 years of like, it takes a long time, right? And so every once in a while I get to, like, one of my clients, I have a client right now, she's in her mid-30s, she's probably like 32, 33, maybe 30. She's no more than 35. And I did the regression healing with her, and I was like, oh, that was easy. Like,
3 decades?
Not that she didn't have trauma. She had trauma. But like, it didn't take me an hour to go backwards, because it wasn't 50 years of trauma. There was 30 years of trauma. It was really
30. Yeah, it was amazing when you and I did that.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot to be learned. From going back, and then like honestly, I know we talk about this, but it's like I was like the soul plane.
I know. I know you sort of have this it's sort of like you grew up in such a muggle world that you're so skeptical.
I'm so skeptical.
So I love it when I get to like blow your mind.
I know, it's just like, well, the thing is, I've always been really super into, for the people that are around me, I was like really weird.
Right.
And I was always into tarot. I was always into like, I never really learned about chakras, but I was like, yeah, they're real. I don't know what they are, but super cool. Just in anything like that, I was very much into that as a kid. I was very like, I came into my existential crises like when I was 3. I was like, the meaning of all of this? Why am I here? I didn't choose this.
Except that you did.
Except that I did, but at 3 I thought I didn't.
Well, right.
I do remember anyway. Yeah, but it's funny because there's that part of you that's installed.
Right.
That's like, it's not real. It's like okay. It's like it's also, it's like my experience of my mental health. Like I have challenges, I've got chemical things happening, and who knows what's going on in there, and I gotta find the right combination of medication, and I gotta work at like the patterns that are causing whatever. But I always kind of thought I was faking it.
Okay.
I mean, like, it was not real, like, it just, there was a part of my mind, like, because my parents, they're like, oh, you think you're mentally ill, and I'm like, but there's that just that voice that got installed in my particular upbringing, at least, where it's like it doesn't give credence to those things. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
I've obviously had, but I've been in denial, I guess is a better way to say it. I've been in denial of the fact that this is really, I mean, and despite the 10 years plus of being depressed and like, but that's part of it, right? Because I was blaming myself that entire time. It wasn't like I gave myself grace.
Right.
It was, this is your fault. And
what's wrong with you that you can't fix it?
I mean, I can't even go into it. The thoughts are terrible. They're terrible. But when, I started coming out of it, it's still like, okay, yeah, I'm good. And I'm lifting myself out, mindset, absolutely. Yes. Go. And then like, I had that experience I had at the end of October, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not faking it.
Nope.
No, this is
Nope.
real.
Yeah,
This is-
it was.
this is real. You know, it was an experience. So yeah, I don't even remember where we were when I got off on this, but
We were talking about you started with the soul plane and how there's a little bit of skepticism.
skepticism. Yes. So okay, so yeah, so that was really interesting for me to have this regression that you did, and then like again, like up until then I've been like no, I mean
Okay, Robin,
I'm into
that's
it.
fine for you.
I'm into it. This is cool. I'm experienced. Like I want to hear about it. I want to know about it. And in my heart, I thought that's the other thing. Is like I thought I believed this stuff already.
Right.
Like I thought I was like, oh yeah, this is me. And then I'm like, all right, what you talking about, Robin?
I love when you send me that GIF. I love when you send me Arnold as a GIF. I'm like, oh, we've hit it. We've gotten someplace. And frankly, I think the soul plane is a really it's a mind-boggling concept. Like if you want to talk about like if people can have a like eternity thinking about hell and heaven, and that's mind-boggling, the soul plane is even
It's
right.
the only thing that makes sense.
Well, yes, it is the only thing that makes sense. But that vastness.
Yes. Oh. But it's a friendly vastness.
Well, yes, of course it is.
Whereas in other religions, I'm not saying the one that I grew up in, it's not very friendly.
Did you ever read the book? This is such a beautiful book, and I know you have to take C.S. Lewis with a grain of salt, but did you ever read the book The Great Divorce?
No.
C.S. Lewis. So actually, it's a short book. It's not even that long, but such a good book. It's chock full of symbolism, and it is very C.S. Lewis, so it's very Catholic Christian. But if you look at like the symbolism in that book, it talks about how whether you think you're in hell or in heaven, you're right.
Yeah.
And it talks about how people who are sort of mired still in the belief that it has to be hard, that it has to be a struggle, that it has to be work, it actually is for them. But the people who like free themselves from their what is it, chains, it's just like the constrictions that they put upon themselves actually move through the soul plane with ease, right? But when you're still mired in it, it's like you feel like you're walking through cement. It's like impossible, right? It's such a cool book. It's out there at C.S. Lewis. It is what it is. If you can look at it from a symbolic standpoint and not read it literally,
right?
It was one of my favorite books to read going through school because it had such a resonance with me about whether you think you're in hell or you think you're in heaven, you're right.
I mean, yeah, you do it to yourself.
Exactly. And we do that. And that gets back to, we were talking earlier about the self-flagellation thing, is like it gets put on us that who we are is not okay, that who we are is not enough, that we have to earn it, that we have to work hard and do these good deeds, and then God will give you grace.
And that if you do think you're cool, that's bad.
Right.
Don't think, it's like honestly, it's like, don't think positive things about yourself. That's actually what's installed.
Right. Meek and humble, right? Humility, right?
But it's, it's not even like meek and humble, but I feel like there's meek and humble, there's nice, there's kind. But when you're that, you can have boundaries.
Yes.
Boundaries, but you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be a doormat. You know what I mean? You don't have to allow people to hurt you.
Well, and I don't think meek and humble is I don't think that was exactly what they meant.
The way we understand it in our society. Agreed. I agree.
Right?
You know, like humility is awesome. Like, you got to be humble.
Well, but listen, I have every single time I surrender to the gods, I am humbled. Yeah. I am like, you know better than I do. I surrender. This is, I give this to you because I don't pretend to know what you think or have planned for me. That takes courage. It takes strength. It's certainly not a meek
No, it's actually
Action?
it's a much stronger action than trying to force your way through life and get what you want.
Exactly.
Much
Exactly.
stronger.
And that's, I think, the humility that they were talking about is that complete to surrender to, because we either say, this is another quote from that book, is God says to us, either God says to us, thy will be done, or we say to God, thy will be done. He's like, you want to do that? You want to do it that way? Go ahead. Go. Thy will be done. Go ahead. Right? It's your choice. Not what I would do, but you're you do you, brother.
You boo. See you later.
Like, you want, maybe we'll try it again. Let's try it again.
Yeah, yeah.
But like,
again, until
exactly. So, but that humility, that's what I think when Jesus was talking about that humility, I think that's what because Jesus was a master. Jesus had studied consciousness work. Jesus went to the mystics and did his fucking shadow work.
I love thinking about that. Jesus did his shadow work.
Yes, Jesus went to the cross, surrendered. He went as a bride to the wedding.
That's exactly. I mean, that is exactly what, I mean, that's the vortex that he created, right? Like, he surrendered to the point of this horrifying thing.
Right. And was grateful for it because this is beautiful and amazing. And this is thy will. Like, when you get to that surrendered place, everything is perfect and amazing. Because it's
the way it should be.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, so it's just, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, that's exactly what the humility is, the surrender. I mean, it is the acknowledgement that there's something bigger
than we are,
smarter than you.
And you can't possibly know you can't possibly comprehend what they know. No,
you can't even come close.
Right.
That's why I kind of like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I grew up Catholic. I love the Catholic faith. Like, I really like, it's beautiful, these ceremonies and, you know, these it's a pomp and circumstance to it, right? But
there's a ritual, there's a sacredness to it. There's a ritual sacredness to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's, you know, the transmutation of the blood, the wine, and the pieces of bread, the little white wafer things. That and when you go, it's funny, I didn't go for a very long time, and then like I went back for like my niece and my nephew's first communions, and I was watching and I'm like, this is so big. Like, there's an altar, he's got robes on, they're casting spells with these words that they're, you know,
that have power
because they're praying, you know, but it's the set words and we're all saying them together, which gives them
which has power.
Exactly. Like, this is so pagan, guys.
Well, and even something as simple as praying the rosary. You pray the rosary over and over again. You do that repetitive thing. That is a mantra, right? Yes. What that does is it shuts the conscious thinking monkey mind off so that you can actually listen to God.
Yeah.
Right? That's all it is.
It really is. And it's, yeah. It is. It's about surrender, and I mean that's certainly been shown to me many times, right? Or at least I think it's been shown to me all throughout my life. I've just kind of picked up on it.
The volume got turned up a little bit. We're like, hey, Jen, you ready yet? We're gonna turn the heat up. You ready to jump yet, Jen? You're gonna stay in this spot, or we're gonna turn the heat up? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and the thing people don't get about surrender, like we're saying, like humility, meekness, they're not weak.
No.
You know, like the thing about surrender is it's so much easier.
Well,
not have to think. Well, no, okay, no. It
is simple.
Not easy to do. Okay. Not easy to do. But when it comes down to it, you're like, I don't have to worry about shit.
Exactly.
I don't have to worry. Like, it's been taken care of.
Absolutely, it is completely taken care of. If it's not all good, all fine, then it's not done yet, right? It's like I don't know, did you see Glennon Doyle has a podcast with Abby Wambach and her sister, Glennon's sister Amanda. It's called the We Can Do Hard Things podcast, which is brilliant. I really, really, really love it. they interviewed Elizabeth Gilbert for a 2-part series session. And Elizabeth Gilbert is like, I really like, Elizabeth Gilbert. I either want to be Elizabeth Gilbert or I want to date Elizabeth Gilbert. I haven't figured out which one it is yet, but I have this hero worship going on with Elizabeth Gilbert, right? So, but she talked about the struggle that she had with codependency and relationships, and she's addicted to relationships, all that stuff. It's so powerful. But she was talking about, in the second part of the episode, she was talking about how she learned surrender. And she basically, all the scripture, all the things, all the 12 steps tell you surrender to a higher power. And so she would say, like, well, then you do it. Like she completely abdicated she said, well, if this is
so much better when you do that.
Yes, it's not, it's super not easy. It's super not easy.
Not easy, but it feels better when you do.
Absolutely, it does.
Like you don't have to worry about shit. You know, you're like, oh, whatever happens is what's supposed to happen. Like,
right.
So,
which is that was the other day when you were sort of yelling about whatever you were yelling about. That's when I just was like, what's here for you, Jen? What's this lesson for you? What can you let go of? This is the exact point I was getting at, is like, you don't have to worry about it. It is not yours.
Yes, exactly. That's one of the best lessons ever. It is not yours. It's not yours.
Right.
You don't have to do anything to it.
Absolutely.
It's not yours.
And when you have action, when you're called to action, you know it, you feel it. You like, I was having who was I talking to? Probably Patty. We were talking about the Shekinah, the feminine energy that's rising. She's been exiled for thousands of years. And it's like the Shekinah is about sitting and asking God, what would you have me do? And sitting and waiting for the answer. If you don't have an answer yet, you sit and you wait, and it can be uncomfortable, it can be excruciating, right? But you sit and you surrender until you get that call to action. When you get that, you know it. When you get called to action, you're like, I have to do this thing. It doesn't make any kind of sense, but I have to do this thing.
Right. I have to turn the camera on at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm crying.
Right. I got told yesterday, I've been resisting cold water therapy. Like, I've been like actively resisting it. Like, I've been actively like, that's ridiculous. Why would anybody rather? Like, I should have known that my level of resistance around this was an indication. I should have known. I whatever. But so I got told very in no uncertain terms yesterday, you have to do cold water therapy, right? And I was like, fuck.
I hate cold water.
And I was like, do I have to do it just once, or like, is it an ongoing thing? And they were like, here you are trying to control it again. And I was like,
You got me.
But it was like, you want this, if you want to go forward, regulate your nervous system, and this is going to do that, and this will open doors for you. And I was like, okay. But they were like, it's all done. Like, you're the what you are hoping and wanting and breathing, it's all done. It's all created. It's there. The door will open when you do this one thing. And I'm like, okay.
All right, it's worth it.
But I'm called to action. I've known this, and and she said, and it resonated so truthfully that I can't deny it.
Right.
That's how you know you're called to action.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, you surrender.
Let's go be in the Polar Bears Club.
No. I'm trying to like, well, all right. So I have there's a lake in town. I could go there one morning, and I could whatever, and maybe New Year's Day, right? I don't know. It's in my, I have to, I don't know.
Or just turn on the shower really cold.
Yeah, I get the sense that it's a plunge, though. I get the sense it's not going to just be in the shower with cold water.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It's like a baptism.
Right, exactly. It's a mitzvah. Ice. Exactly. It's a mitzvah, and that's what you cleanse and be reborn. And yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm aware.
Yes. I'll do it. Fine.
God damn figure. And I'll find a way to be grateful, and I'll find a way to have it be amazing, and go willingly like a bride to the groom, to the wedding, whatever.
For real.
But I need to crumble first.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like, grumbling is great, honestly. Like, okay. Because eventually you get it out and then you're like, this is an opportunity for growth.
Yes. And ultimately it's going to be like, I'm going to look back on it and be like, why did I put this off? Why did I not do, why did I think this was a big deal? All of that is, I know this, right? I've had a relationship with myself for 48 years, so I get it.
Yeah, seriously. Speaking of bride to their wedding.
Yes.
My wedding's coming up.
Woo!
Month. For me, it's just me marrying me.
Okay.
And
but you're not allowed to marry someone who's abusive.
Right.
I will not let my friend Jen marry anybody who's abusive.
I'm marrying someone who's going to take care of me.
Perfect.
And love me no matter what.
Excellent. Which means no like verbal yelling or sparring or telling you what you did wrong.
No, I know. Well, see what happens here. Okay, we'll go through it quickly. Here's 5 minutes. There's always there's always 500 people in my head, but there's 2 main ones, right? Yeah. And before there were like the Punisher and the Punishee, and now it's like the bride and the groom, right? And the groom is the one that's taking care of the bride.
Okay.
It's like, it's my masculine energy, right? Like, yeah, taking care of because when I do stuff like yell or whatever it is that I do to hurt myself, like, then this part of me comes in and is like, hey, don't do that. I love you.
Okay.
It's like, okay, great. I made Robin go, okay. Shit. What does that mean? No, it's a bride and groom because that's.
Yeah, I get it. It's totally fine. I'm with you 100%. I'm also aware that in any abusive relationship.
I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
Okay.
What I am doing is taking the model I had from my relationship with Abram. And anytime I was upset like that, it wasn't like I was abusing him. I was, you know what I mean? Like I was doing it to myself. Yeah. But like he always knew. And it didn't matter, like it didn't matter how weird it got. You know what I mean? Like he was always going to take care of me.
Okay.
And make sure I'm okay. You know what I mean? Like no matter what happens. And so if I'm doing that, like I can come in and be my own, basically it's being my own rescuer.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
Perfect.
It's just like, I know but it's like, if you're not going to take care of yourself, I'm going to take care of you. You know what I mean?
I got it. Okay. So ideally, I would love to see you be able to say to that voice that yells at you, that's not okay. That's unacceptable.
Okay.
That's the point. That's what I'm getting at is you're taking care of yourself. You're doing that like embodied of the masculine taking care of you. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's the first step. It really is beautiful. And I don't want you to think that it's not enough because it's really wonderful. And ultimately you're doing like we just talked about, you're being as conscious as you possibly can. And also like getting to the place where anybody, including you, talking to you like that is unacceptable.
Yeah. My thought for what I'm kind of doing in my head is like, again, with Abram, like he just was persistent. He just always loved me.
Right.
And things fell away because of that. You know? So that's sort of what I was looking at, is like, if I keep taking care of myself, I'm gonna like when we were first living together, every time he would come home or I would come home, he was really happy to see me, like really happy. And I like, every time it surprised me, like for like a good year and a half, I was like, you like, I don't know, it was just really surprising to me that he was really happy to see me. It felt great. But I was like, because I mean, like, I grew up with like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
here again, like that's how I grew up.
Sure.
So how, you know, because just, I love my parents. I love them. They were very annoyed by me. I annoyed them a lot, and it was very obvious.
Yeah.
You know, and so I expect that reaction from someone I live with. You know,
Uh-huh.
and but he kept on every single day, every single day, every single day. He was happy to see me, and then eventually, I just accepted that he was happy to see me. You know, what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't surprising anymore. So that's sort of where I was going. But yes, I agree with you. Not allowing people to talk to me that way, especially myself, is unacceptable.
Absolutely. Right. So that's just like a loving yourself. Part of that is saying like no to people that aren't
Yeah.
kind, right? You don't
Yeah.
get my energy, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I get to wear a pretty dress
Exactly.
and buy a ring. I love it because, you know, we gotta go. You gotta go. But I love it because I'm gonna have a ring. Every time I see the ring, I'm gonna be like,
I
I
love me.
love you.
Yeah. I think you're amazing.
Yes, you're beautiful, and I love you, and I'm so glad I married you. That's what I'm gonna be like. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
All
Fantastic.
right. I know we gotta go.
Happy solstice, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, happy all of the things.
All of the things, all the light coming into the world things.
Exactly. All of the light coming into the
They're
world
all
things.
we're coming like
Right?
the world things. All of them.
Because the world needs your light.
That we should talk about that. Like, you know what? There's something last week that we should talk about, but we should talk about solstice in terms of your light.
Which we kind of touched on. We kind of did
Yeah,
that.
we did.
Yeah.
I guess
Your
more.
spark, your light, the world needs, I mean, truly, truly, truly. I know this, like I know my name.
Mhm.
The world is waiting for your light. And I know that that's what's going to heal us, is that when we can all access that place of ourselves that's divine, that's the spark that's never been wounded, never been hurt, never been anything other than love. Like the more of us that can access that place within inside of us, that will be a softer, kinder, gentler, more amazing world. And that's what's going to heal us. Like I know it. Right. So I mean it sincerely that the world needs your light, because it does, because you're in the world, which means you have a light, which means your job is to shine it so that everybody knows that that light exists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
And help others to shine too.
Just shine your light. You shine your light and it'll be so bright that people can't ignore it.
Right. Right.
That's it. That's all we got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I just love that people are also, when you lift yourself up, others around you are lifted up immediately.
Exactly. It's contagious.
It is. So
that's the fires we want to be spreading.
Yes, those are the fires. Not the forest fires.
Exactly. Anyway.
All right. Okay.
I love you deeply.
I love you truly and madly. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.